Doesn't, then he does again. Smith and Jigba. Walker again. Walker busts loose. Walker inside. So fires, caught. He had the first down, then he doesn't, then he does again. Smith and Jigba. Walker again. Walker busts loose. Walker inside the 10-yard line. It'll be a first and goal.
Offense. Offense number 11. 10-yard penalty.
Be careful.
With a 15-minute overtime. Walker spinning, nothing. Taken all the way back that time. Dixon puts it down. Myers puts it up. And Seattle takes, well, that's the 18th. He was a year later. He comes in the,
that's right.
The next draft. But don't forget, as he finally takes off here, he shows his speed down the sideline. He goes, and he's finally out of bounds after a long gain here on a second.
Oh, shoot. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Athletics Podcast. I just acknowledged my bad. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good morning tuning in. We just saw some highlights of the Cardinals and Seahawks game on Thursday. What a game. Also, beautiful weather today. We've had some really crappy weather last few days. So it's really nice to finally have some just good overall weather. And so with that being said, I hope everybody is doing amazing today. So we got a lot of topics today. We're going to obviously talk a little football, of course. But we also have some fun topics this week that we want to talk about. So before we do that, though, we are going to talk about tomorrow's games starting at 9:30 in the morning. Yes, we have an international game tomorrow in Dublin, Ireland. In Dublin, Ireland, the Vikings and the Steelers will be playing tomorrow. Like I said, 9:30 a.m. So, yeah, we have a really early game. That doesn't happen often. It's only the international games, which we're only getting about 6 international games this year, but that's good. And what I mean by that, for people that don't know, we are so the NFL is going to different countries. I think they're going to be in the UK at some point too. But they're playing football games, like NFL games, in different countries, and it's pretty cool because you see all these fans that are wearing different jerseys. It's not you see people wearing their favorite jerseys from these other countries. And so it's kind of cool because unlike when you go to a normal game, you'll see the two teams that are playing. You will definitely see a lot of those fans too, but we're going to see fans basically all over essentially. So that will be really cool. That's going to be fun. But anyway, stop my yapping. Commanders, Falcons tomorrow. I think Commanders are going to have the W in that one. Commanders are obviously looking amazing. I don't feel like there's got to be much said about that one, to be honest. So, hey, maybe the Falcons will upset them. The Falcons got home field advantage, so could be an upset. Chargers and Giants. And I think another no-brainer. Chargers are still undefeated as of right now, and Giants haven't even won a game. So I don't see the Chargers losing that game. Would be an upset though. Would be a huge upset. Titans and Texans. Titans are looking, they're not doing terrible, but they're still 0-3. So I don't know. As much as I want to give, I like the Titans just based off because my boy Tyler Lockett is now there. But both teams are 0-3. So hey, either way, for whichever team that wins, their team is going to finally get their first win of the season. So hey, there you go. There you go. Patriots and Panthers. Patriots should win that game. I don't see why they can't. Panthers are really bad this year, and the Patriots are actually, in my opinion, I think the Patriots are solid. I think they're definitely like middle tier team this year, which is definitely a lot better than last year because they were definitely like a top 5 worst team last year. They didn't have a great record. They were just, not doing too well. I think they're going to be better this year. Could they make the playoffs? Possible. Very unlikely, though. I don't think they're like good enough to make the playoffs right now, but they definitely have pieces. I just think if the Patriots are smart with their next few draft picks, maybe they scout, free agency well. But either way, the Patriots right now have the foundation to be they have the foundation to be a really good team. But again, I don't think they have the pieces to the puzzle yet to be even in the topic of Super Bowl. They still got some time for that, but Patriots are looking pretty good this year. Saints and Bills. Bills obviously should beat the Saints. I don't see why the Bills should struggle. Saints have been pretty garbage this year. Alvin Kamara, their running back, has been the only good thing for them, to be honest. Buffalo Bills are obviously looking great, though. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. They're still undefeated. So you've got another undefeated team facing a team that hasn't even won a game. So, again, I would be surprised. It would be an upset for sure. Browns and Lions. Browns aren't looking good at all this year. They looked good last year. This year they look garbage. Detroit is still looking good. Hey, they lost the Packers in week 1, but haven't lost since. So Detroit is still a team to fear, in my opinion. So Detroit's going to win that game. Jaguars and 49ers. Honestly, Jaguars, I think, could cause an upset in this game. They're 2-1. 49ers are undefeated, but to be fair, I don't know. I think the thing is the 49ers can be a good team if they stay healthy, but they don't have a team that's consistently healthy. George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey are constantly in and out. So, and Brock Purdy, he's been okay this year. I don't think he's been doing all that this year, but he's doing okay. Colts and Rams. I think the Colts are going to continue their undefeated streak, but a lot of people have said, and I agree, this game is definitely going to be a hard one for the Colts, and it's also going to be a determination. This game is really going to decipher whether or not if the Colts are actually elite or not, because right now with Daniel Jones, they're on fire, and I would say they're considered elite considering they're still undefeated. But I'm saying, though, is if they can win this game, though, if they can beat the Rams, then I think they definitely can win. I think they could go to the Super Bowl. If they can beat the Rams, they definitely can be in that conversation of, is the Colts going to make the Super Bowl this year after being garbage for a decade? Bears and Raiders. That's another no-brainer. Raiders should honestly win that game. The Bears beat the Cowboys. Come on. The Cowgirls are disappointing this year. If you're a Cowboys fan, I think you should just hang the jersey up, man. Hang the jersey up already. I know it's week 4, but it's time to put those jerseys up, man. I'm joking, but I don't know. I think the Cowboys would have been fine if they didn't trade, obviously, Micah Parsons. I think they've made a terrible decision over this year. Last year, they weren't terrible at all. And so I don't know why they made so many stupid moves, but they did. Ravens and Colts. Ravens and Chiefs, my bad. Ravens and Chiefs. What's there to be said? Both these teams should not be 1-2, but they are. So let's talk about that. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have been playing pretty mediocre this season, both of them combined. Neither of them as players have really stood out, in my opinion. Both of them are kind of playing sloppy, hoping to see better production. But Lamar Jackson, though, I feel bad for him because, to be fair, the guy has not thrown the guy hasn't thrown an interception once. The guy has already 722 yards in 3 games, which is unbelievable. And like I said, in the Browns game, he had 4 touchdowns. In the Lions game, he had 3, and then in Week 1 against the Bills, he had 2. He's on also an amazing quarterback rating. Actually, so far, this is his highest quarterback rating by a margin. In 2024, his rating was 119.6, which is high as it is. With 3 games, in 3 games, he's already averaging 141.8. He is averaging essentially 21% rating more than he did last year. Now, to be fair, it's only 3 games so far, but that is a really good start to the season, in my opinion. And 722 yards, you're almost at 750 passing yards in less than 3 games. That's impressive as it is. Careful with that. Jerry is the dumb one. Of course. You have to be a guy living in a rock if you're not aware of the fact that Jerry Jones is literally he is quite literally the Cowboys demon. He is quite literally destroying you guys from the inside out. He's destroying y'all from the inside out, and y'all are just letting it slide. I would have tried to. Honestly, I would have contacted the state. I would have called up the governor of Dallas and be like, all right, can we get rid of Jerry Jones? Speaking of the Cowgirls and Packers. Sorry, Cowboys and Packers. Cowboys and Packers tomorrow night at 8:30. I mean, that's going to be a slaughterhouse. Here at Cowboys, shoot, man. The Cowboys better win that game. They have to win this game. If they lose this game to the Packers, it's not good. It's not good. They've got to beat the Packers. They have to. It's quite literally if they can't beat the Packers and they go 1-3, it's not a good start for the Cowboys. And then a Monday night game. This is kind of a sleeper one, but if you're a fan of either of these teams, hey, Jets and Dolphins Monday night game. Also, Bengals and Broncos as well. Actually, that will be a good one. I'll watch that one. I don't know how I feel about Jets and Dolphins as a Monday night game. It's because both of them are kind of nosebleeders right now. They're both 0-3. I don't know why you would. I don't know. I find it interesting. Obviously, as we all know, these schedules are pre-made, but I still think it's hilarious that we got to watch 2 0-3 teams on a Monday night game. Anyway, with that being said, there's that. Defense is trash. Yeah, Cowboys, now that Micah Parsons is gone, it really exposes how bad the Cowboys defense actually really is. Because, it really went to show how much they relied on Micah Parsons last year, because to be fair, they also gave us, the Seahawks, DeMarcus Lawrence. You basically lost 2 amazing pieces to your defense in less than a year. Actually, literally a year. In a year span, you lost your 2 biggest defensive threats and haven't really exactly picked up the pieces to the puzzle. Adding Clowney was a really big move, but Clowney himself is someone you will keep for maybe a year or 2, but he's getting, to that age, so I wouldn't exactly expect Clowney to carry the Cowboys defense. He could considering how I don't know. I'm not loving the production on the Cowboys defense. Their offense is looking great, but their defense is it's laughable. It's very laughable. And anyway, with that being said, though, those are all the games for week 4. I'll talk about the games next week when that time comes around. But let's move on to the fun topics I said I had today. We'll start with the fun one, which, we're here in New England, so we got to talk about this one. So Tom Brady's getting $65 million from Saudi Arabia? The answer is no, though. It's not true. It's fake news. It's not real. So the truth is, let me break it down. The truth is, so obviously the rumor numbers. So Saudi Arabia is holding a tournament that Tom Brady is like kind of, he's leading the charge in this. And so the truth is, so as we all know, Tom Brady signed a 10-year contract for $375 million, which is a shit ton of money, with Fox back in September. September. I think it was September. So a year ago, actually, yeah. About a year ago. So about a year ago, he signed like I said, 10-year for $375 million. So basically averaging him around 35.7, he's only making $37.5 million. So, but there was a lot of rumors about, Saudi Arabia paying him. But Saudi Arabia is not paying him. If anything, I'm pretty sure he and a lot of other people that he's getting to sponsor this are paying for all of it. Like, I think this is one of those things where Tom Brady and a bunch of other former athletes are gonna come together and pay for it, kind of thing. Or maybe it'll get paid by Fox or somebody's gonna pay it, but it won't be, Tom won't be getting money from Saudi Arabia, and there's no, Saudi Arabia isn't doing any of the money aspect. They're just agreeing to host the tournament in Saudi Arabia. I'm curious why they chose Saudi Arabia, though. I would be curious to know why. That seems like a weird spot to play flag football. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. So to explain it in a nutshell, though, it's a lot of rumors. But yeah, so Tom Brady's not making money from Saudi Arabia. That's not happening. It's not going on. So none of that's happening. He's not doing any of it. And so with that being said, though, we got to transition a little bit to something more fun, something a little bit more hard-hitting, like a bat. A bat to the knees. But anyway, I'm going to butcher this. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say it, but it's the catcher for the Seattle Mariners. And I have watched this guy play, and I know that he's really good. He's been really good. I've heard a lot about this guy for the last few years. I've honestly never really, if I'm being honest, I've never really gave him a chance. But damn, though, 60 home run season as a catcher, it's unheard of. Catchers don't perform like this, especially so late in the season. They normally don't. So with that, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's take a look. So on this Wednesday, the slugger himself, he became the 7th player to ever hit 60 home runs in a single season. He's joining people like Babe Ruth. He's joining people like Aaron Judge. And that's a big deal because he plays a very, hard position, like a pitcher, kind of like a pitcher. A catcher is a very crucial position. They do a lot of physical work, to get to be as good as they are. They spend a lot of time, because being a catcher is just as important as being a good pitcher. And so with that being said, though, he's done it. He's done something not many people have done. And so, it's the position he plays. It's like what position he plays is why it's such a big deal, because nobody has even gotten close. The closest was by Salvador Perez. If you know who that is. If you don't, that's okay. But he broke his record of a single catcher in one season, which was 48. So he crushed that by 48. And then he also cruised past Mickey Mantle's as well. But Mickey Mantle is what they call a switch hitter, not a catcher. But still. Either way, though, so with that being said, though, yeah, he broke the catcher record by 12. So that's insane. So if you're that's a big deal for Seattle, because historically, Seattle's been needing players like a guy like this. So, yeah, I think with that being said, I think, hands off to the young man. He's working hard. That's hard work. That's hard work. Anybody who's ever picked up a bat, tried to play baseball, knows that even trying to hit the ball is hard. Baseball players make it seem so easy, just hit the ball. But the thing is, like, you're playing against people who are in the MLB for a reason. So he's playing against elite players. He's playing against people who can throw 100-mile-per-hour fastballs. More like 90, but still, you get my drift. So, for someone to break a record like that, it just shows how hard he's working. It just shows the hard work, the work ethic, sorry. And so, yeah, it's just amazing. Hats off to the young man. Congratulations to him on Wednesday for an amazing performance and to break such an iconic record. Speaking of hard hitters, Aaron Judge is still continuing to be Aaron Judge. He's absolutely tearing up the season. He got injured about a month ago. That was a really big, crucial thing for the Yankees. It really sent them on a bad record. It just goes to show that, honestly, though, that goes to show the Yankees really need to consider what their future looks like because, Aaron Judge is 33. He's getting up there. Who knows how much longer he's going to play with the team, and who knows how much longer he's going to be even in the league. And so I think with that being said, I think that I think the Yankees really need to consider, who they're putting around Aaron, because clearly when Aaron gets injured, the Yankees go downhill. So, that's great for Red Sox fans. If you're a Red Sox fan, you definitely love that. But, yeah, still, my point is if you're, the Yankees, they got to fix that. That's a big deal, If one guy goes out and your whole team sucks, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal. It's like the Cowboys losing Micah Parsons. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely crapping on the Cowboys today. But, hey, it's, if they didn't make terrible decisions, they wouldn't be. To be fair, almost 10 years ago in 2016-17, they were amazing. They had an amazing offense, solid defense. I would blame it, though. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was their coaching because their old coach, Jason, was good. But still, though, it's, no. I think the Cowboys really also screwed themselves by hiring someone like Mike McCarthy because, Packers fans were trying to get rid of Mike McCarthy because he did things like ruin players' careers. For example, he ruined Eddie Lacy, which if you know. Eddie Lacy was a really great running back when he played with the Packers back in 2015-16, around that time. And yeah, he was basically making the Pro Bowl. He was doing amazing. And Mike McCarthy pretty much killed the young man's career. He pretty much killed the man's career. He did it with Ezekiel Elliott. If anyone wants to argue that, that's crazy because any Cowboys fan, anybody who pays attention to the Cowboys can tell you that Ezekiel Elliott's career went into the dirt as soon as Mike McCarthy got hired. As soon as Mike McCarthy got hired, that was Ezekiel Elliott's career. Honestly, I think Ezekiel Elliott, he's still around. He still wants to play. He's still young, honestly. He's a lot younger than you would think. He's still, he's like 30, 31? He's still very young. He's still got a lot of juice in him. But, I don't know. Like I said, Mike McCarthy, he ruined, Ezekiel Elliott. He ruined the Cowboys. They didn't really do much with him. He didn't really take them anywhere. They made the playoffs, but they had the team. They should have, So, yeah, no. Cowboys did themselves really bad by hiring someone like Mike McCarthy. That was not the move I would have made. And so another NFL rumor that's going on is, before we talk about this rumor, we should talk about the big one. So So there's a lot of talk about, is the MLB bringing in robot empires? So we're going to have like robots, making the calls behind the catcher. So that's another one of those, like, not exactly, it's not exactly false, but it's not exactly true. It's definitely over exaggerated for sure. So MLB is introducing what they call the ABS, which stands for the automatic ball striker. It's a challenge system. So the MLB will finally kind of get like the NFL, where the coaches themselves can challenge plays. So the MLB will now be able to challenge certain calls. That's something they're going to be starting for the 2026 season. It was approved as of this month. So starting next year in baseball, we're going to start seeing teams being able to challenge plays, because you're going to have a system that essentially tracks, let's see. The goal is to increase accuracy and reduce ejections related to ball strike calls, though human elements like players' abilities to work the strike zone are being considered. So there's definitely, like, they're going to have to like, if they do fully commit to this, they're going to have to do some workarounds with other small rules that they have. So we may see a somewhat different MLB than we saw last year. And yeah, so that's a really big thing that's going to change the MLB, I would say. I mean, being able to challenge plays, being able to avoid less players getting ejected because they're getting mad at the ref, the umpire and the ref, none of that anymore. So good old-fashioned yelling in the ump's face will become no longer. I mean, still will happen at your kid's game, and it will still happen. It'll still happen at your probably high school games, but it will not happen at home watching your professional MLB games. And so with that being said, though, let's transition back into the NFL, though. So with that being said, though, now there's a lot of rumors of, is the NFL going to do the same? Are they going to do something that involves robots or anything of that nature? No. However, though, the NFL is, as of this coming season, has introduced what they call a camera-based technology. It is the Sony's Hawkeye system, which is going to be it's powered by Sony, but it's going to be the first official 8K camera that will be designed and programmed to follow the football. It'll be designed to, so how, like, when you watch a game, for example, sometimes the people controlling the camera screw up and they're not exactly following the guy with the ball, or maybe there's a trick play and even the camera guys get confused. No, the whole point of this is they want to minimize that as much as possible, and they want a camera that will essentially follow where the ball is at all times. But that also will be hilarious, because what if the ball gets like thrown really high up and into the stadium? Does that mean the camera's going to follow the ball, like, going towards some random kid and possibly hitting some kid in the head? But that's my question. Is it going to like follow like the football to that extent? Like, will there be like a point where the camera will kind of snap back and be like, all right, there's a lot of questions. Let's see. Actually, let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm not getting really any I'm kind of looking here. I'm not getting really any information to answer my question I just had. But yeah, so hey, I think that's awesome. I think that the idea of that there is now a, camera that is chasing and following the ball is going to be a really big thing for the NFL. And I think that's going to be awesome. I think they should definitely do that. I don't know. I think that's a great, honestly, like I said, I think, for the NFL, that's a really good thing, because like I said, you replace any like room for error when it comes to recording a game, when it comes to, because to be fair, the NFL has a lot of sponsors and a lot of companies that are paying them a lot of money to play the games, to, broadcast the games and all that. And so if the NFL is not doing their job, all the fancy like websites that display the games, like CBS Sports, Amazon, when they, Peacock, NFL Sunday Ticket, all those things pay the NFL to be able to record the games and have rights to broadcast the games. And so if the NFL themselves is screwing up, they're pissing off the people that are paying them, essentially. They're getting pissed off by their customers. So I think, though, the idea of a camera that will move on its own and it'll also track the ball better is something that we definitely need in the league for sure. And so, yeah, I think that's a really good piece to the puzzle. And so with that being said, I think we are getting ready to wrap it up for the evening. My final thoughts with you guys today is get ready for Sunday. Tomorrow night is the night. Get ready. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're going to your local sports bar. I don't know if you're hanging out with family and friends. Maybe you're just enjoying your own company. Maybe you're just chilling out on the couch. Maybe you're, maybe you're one of those dudes who bets on fantasy. Maybe you're hoping that your parlay hits. Maybe you're, I don't know. Because there's a lot of betting and a lot of sports betting that's been happening as of the last 5, years, I would say, easily. I mean, for years, obviously, I'm not saying it's something that's new. It's not new. Sports betting has been around forever, but now there's all these apps. You're seeing all these commercials. You're seeing all these celebrities promoting all these different types. I've heard of draft picks, DraftKings, a couple other ones. So, but like I said, with that being said, though, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your morning. It is beautiful. Get outside today, enjoy the weather, because tomorrow night, you better be tuning in. You better be tuning in. All the games, all the action, all the mayhem. We'll be talking about it again shortly. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. Thank you for paying attention with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. You guys have a great rest of your day. Happy Saturday.